What creates a successful franchise system? What really creates a successful business? Today, we're going to speak with Josh Malik from Joshua Tree Care. As always, Josh, you're representing with that amazing apparel there.
Well, I love you guys, and I gotta tell you, man, I love the shirt.
Well, we
And they're
love you.
soft. Yeah, these are the shirt itself is like a really comfortable shirt.
Now,
But
it looks, yeah, it is. And it looks great, man. One of the biggest gifts I've ever experienced is coming to work is not like working. But for franchising and working together, we would have never met. And then you get to become friends and learn more about the journey. And Josh, we have some amazing subscribers and amazing audience, franchisors, entrepreneurs like you thinking about franchising their business. And so today is all about Joshua Tree. I know a lot behind the story, and I'm looking forward to having this conversation.
well, I appreciate the opportunity. I always love getting together with you, and hanging out in Red Bank is always a good time. But being able to be on your show, I've watched a lot of your shows. You have some excellent guests on there, so I'm honored to be on it, man. Thanks for having me.
So it's almost like a movie. I'll start at the end and then we go back because I want to go back. About 2 months ago, I was on LinkedIn and you had posted a photo, and it was a full team wide photo, everyone sitting down, focused. It was one of your traction meetings. And I'm looking at this organization and business where, you must have had 20, 30 people there. Um, Everyone is focused on a common goal. And now I know the story behind Joshua Tree and the organization you've built, but like when you have those moments, when you're looking at your team, when you're even thinking about how disciplined you've become in the business, what does that feel like when you think about it?
It feels awesome. Having your people engaged is always, a plus, because a lot of companies, their coworkers and employees aren't sure where the company's going. They don't get the updates, and taking on that operating system that we talk about, EOS, and really defining the vision, it gets everybody on board. Everybody understands what their role is. They understand where the company's going. We're very transparent with everything we do. Our budget, our successes, our losses. We communicate everything. Those quarterly meetings that you're talking about, that's once every 3 months. We bring everybody together, and we share with them. It's a company update. So it's pretty awesome to say, hey, where we were 18 years ago when we started Joshua Tree to where we are today has been it's been an awesome ride, and the leadership team and our whole entire team is just, they're awesome.
So, and for everyone watching this, Joshua Tree Care, an emerging franchise brand, what I believe to be one of the best franchise opportunities out there because you're getting, and Josh will talk about it, but a multi-service platform starting with tree care into other areas. But Josh, if you could give an overview of what Joshua Tree is as a franchise opportunity.
Yeah, we're three services in one brand. We started, in 2005. I started as a general tree care company, and that was doing pruning service, reduction, removal, stump grinding, a focus on plant health care, which is the tree and shrub spray, insect disease, soil amendments for fertilizing. And as we grew the business, we knew there was additional opportunity within the green space, and we started offering lawn care applications, and that is strictly a fertilizer, weed control, aeration service. It's not a mowing service. We're not mulching. We're not doing the landscaping part. And then in 2020, we said, hey, we want to continue to grow. We want to add another department. So we added our pest control service. So it's perimeter pest control treatments around the house, and a large focus on mosquito, flea, and tick. It's really one of the value propositions that we're able to give our candidates, give that as a tool for consultants to use as they have candidates that really want to grow and scale a business. It's really, honestly, it's a great opportunity.
And we've talked about it. It's a great opportunity. Josh, yeah, everything's an intangible, right? And I'm sorry, like the world is filled with BS. And I'm going to be biased here. We've gotten to know each other, and I like on a personal level, certainly as our client, but more on a personal level, I'm blown away with the dedication and focus you put into your brand. I mean, we were at a conference together. We were having breakfast. I was almost taking notes, right? Because you're actually helping me as we focus in on our team and our culture. So for me, it's all about the intangibles, right? You are in an amazing industry. I do love the fact that you can scale in, but it's also about the team behind the brand and really the support. And for me, the biggest question when I think about tree care in your industry is, how do I do it? Can I do it? Right? If I'm a corporate executive, this is a great opportunity. It's a business. You have recurring revenue. You could build up additional services. My big question is, if I've never touched anything in tree care, can I do this? And what does it look like for a franchisee when they onboard?
Yeah, you have, we see candidates coming in that have some type of home service experience. They want to be in that owner operator type model, which we love that model, get in hands on. And we have a lot of candidates. And I think in franchising, when you just think about franchising, a lot of people are buying franchises that they don't have experience in the franchise system. They don't have experience with the company that they're, partnering with and that they're going to be buying into. It's developing the processes and systems and having that, if you have managerial type experience, how to grow teams,
Right.
how to retain employees. Recruiting it's a big buzzword that everyone talks about. No one talks about retention. It's like, we'll get employees in, that's part of what we do to help you and support you. Is we have a full-time recruiter, and we will find you employees, but retain them, right? Retain those good employees and get employees that have experience in here. Your job as the owner, you're not going out to do the tree work. You're not pruning trees. You're not climbing trees. You're not spraying lawns. You're not doing pest control. You are managing the business. And our onboarding, the training that we supply, it's developed to give you an overview of arboricultural services, lawn care tactics, pest control education, but then developing the team that already has that experience, the team that's already been in that role, that's going to go out there and perform the services. This is a very client front facing. People don't know your name as the owner in this business. They don't. They know their technician. They know that person that's visiting the property 3-8 times a year that they see on a monthly or bi-monthly routine. They know that person. I've talked and met with a lot of franchisors over the years, and they say, man, the biggest pain in the ass is the people that have the industry knowledge, because they come in and before you know it, they're trying to tell you what to do. And I'm very familiar with, I've been in the tree industry for over 31 years, and I know the persona of the tree type person. So when they're coming in, and if they said, hey man, I have the experience, or I want to convert my business over to Joshua Tree Experts, I'll be honest with you, I'm more to shy away. I'd rather, even with our people that we bring in, my best employees that have been with me for 15 plus years have come into this industry. They have no knowledge, but they got the values, right? And they believe in the brand. They have, and when I say values, work hard, play hard, improve and adapt, reliable, team player, and find a way. We really focus that at the corporate level. We talked about that with our franchisees and adopt that. We can teach you the skill set. That's the easy part. Teaching you the skill set, understanding how to operate this business. That's the easy part of it. Having those values, recruiting the team, and then keeping them on board and moving ahead and scaling. That's the part that you need to focus on. You don't need to know what type of lawn diseases and weeds are out there. That's not the 30,000 foot view. That's getting too deep into it. We'll give you the training that you can supply your technicians with that, but we're giving you the operation, the systems to run a professional business.
Right. So as a service-based brand, franchise buyers, your franchisees, focus on sales, customer service, and the retention, right? And then the widget just happens to be a very in-demand service, which is, I think the biggest advantage is you have a fractured and desegmented industry where your competitors are smaller businesses that aren't up to service standards.
Yeah, trees are going nowhere. They've been around a lot longer than we are, and it is a necessity. It's not like this fad that's going to come in for a few years or leave. It's like tree care. The profession of tree care has been around for hundreds of years. It continues. Arboriculture continues to improve year over year. I mean, when I got in the industry 31 years ago, it is so different now. The techniques, the tools, the equipment that's available, the safety aspect, everything has just been so good. There's such a push in our industry to improve it and continue to improve it. And obviously, yeah, it is not going anywhere at all. So we're super fortunate in that sense. I'm fortunate that this is the first career I ever got in, and I've stayed in it. So, it says a lot about, and it's the only career I'm never going to do.
Josh, going back to the beginning, I mean, how many employees do you have right now?
Close to 70.
70. I mean, you're running a major operation. I'm blown away when we have conversations. I look at what your team's doing, and also I see your approach to franchising, very genuine and really focused and all in on your franchisees. But if you reflect backwards to when you first started and someone said, Joshua, this is what it's going to look like in the future, like, would you believe everything you've accomplished?
I never would have thought that we would have been franchising. I never would have thought that we'd become a 70-person company. I would have never imagined that we would have added lawn care and pest control, a second location. I would have never thought that I'd be able to enhance my skills to develop a company and a team that is just so developed, and so they just believe in the brand. We believe in each other and grow. And I never, no, my business plan in 2005 was, I was already in the industry for 13 years. And I went into business because, like a lot of people, they're working at a company and they're doing a lot of the owner's job. I had an owner at the time that got very relaxed, and I was doing the job that he was doing. I thought, I can do this on my own. And I was making really good money. I was making six figures. That was back in 2005. So that says, hey, that is a really good job. And I'll be honest with you, my family, I love them, but they didn't think it was going to be possible. They were very negative on, why would you do this? Why would you sacrifice such a, good paying job? Why would you put your family at risk? And I'm like, no way. I believed in myself, and I still do. I'm very confident. I'm very developed in that sense that, I don't let a lot of negatives, people talk me out of stuff. It's like, yo, I got a vision. I'm a big driver, and it was the right thing to do. And I know it's a lot of static in a lot of people's head, because everyone needs to get advice from people. And a lot of times I don't do that, or I go to very specific people that ask for, when I ask for advice, that I know that are going to support me, give me some really good ideas, help me with some, solutions. And I really stay away from those negative people that, they're telling themselves they can't do it. So it's easier for them to tell you can't do it either.
Josh, and as we've been on this franchising journey, we've had so many conversations, and I know you're super principled. What's the vision for the right franchisee as they join Joshua Tree? What should it feel like? What should it look like? What's that vision there?
Well, we talked about the scalability, right? And that's really important. When you launch a Joshua Tree, you don't start with all three services. You start with general tree care and the plant health care. Most companies don't do plant health care. So that's a very, maybe 20% of the general tree care companies are tapped into that market. And it's one that I keep telling a lot of my industry professionals that aren't in. I'm like, get in it, because it's the most lucrative part of the business. There's a saying, spray for dough, climb for show. And they say that because the return on spraying is so good. Having that mindset of saying, hey, you're coming in with a certain level of equipment, vehicles. You have that initial investment. This business is great to utilize the tax advantages, Charles. It has such a high return at the end of the year. You're either going to pay Uncle Sam, or you're going to use that money to invest in additional assets. And, you know, someone that's going to look at scaling with that profit and adding more equipment, adding more vehicles, becoming more competitive, you know, increasing your production out in the field, and graduating into those additional services of lawn care and pest control. And, you know, going from a home office to where you have an operations center, and maybe you're buying that operations center now and you're renting it to the company. And it's just such a wealth builder. And we want people to understand that, you know, not to just come in and we like the multi-unit owners. You know, I started in 3 units. We're a 250,000 population per unit. When I started in 2005, I started with 3 units, and I ran like that for 16 years. And it just worked out really, really well for us.
You know, I never realized even the distinction in terms of the tree care and the spraying and maintaining trees and stuff. I didn't even know the service was available, right? And as I'm thinking about it now, I'm like, I'd subscribe to that.
Yeah, it's very, you know, I think the biggest thing is we do offer a subscription-based model, and 60% of our revenue is recurring year over year. And we built programs, really, you know, we built programs from like a 3-step to an 8-step visit per year. And we give that to our franchisees to be able to sell a certain number of visits around their client's budget. And, you know, it's really more of it's like a features and benefits type sale.
But you don't even know it exists. So if I'm worried about the hollies in my yard, you're like, hey, we have a program for that. We'll maintain them throughout the year and take care of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, you know,
yeah. So that's just a mystery for me, right? I don't even know it exists. So Josh, the tree care, the tree maintenance, when would you expect in like an ideal situation, when would your franchisees start graduating to adding on, growing into those additional services?
So we look at measurables. I'm very strict. If you don't measure it, you can't track it. So we have a certain set of KPIs, which are going to be around client retention, total sales, total leads. And we have about 15 KPIs that we have bracketed to say, hey, hit within this bracket, make this scorecard, and that's when you graduate into lawn care. When you start, all your equipment package, vehicle package, the recruiting efforts is all around general tree care, plant health care. So when you're launching the additional services, hey, there's another investment model that goes into that. It's not another franchise fee. There's no additional training fee. We're going to provide that for you. But again, you're going to need to have that. If I guesstimated, I think companies, you know, 6 to 12 months, that's when they're going to be able to do that. It's getting that, you know, what's really good. It's growing it just the way I did. So I built up a nice clientele, right? So I call it your marketing universe. You have clients that are calling you for tree care, plant health care. You're building this marketing universe of clients. You know, you sold some clients. There's clients that you didn't sell, but they're all in this universe. Now you start low cost cross marketing techniques to all those clients that are now in that marketing universe that you built up for over the year, right? All these general tree care clients. You start cross-selling them on your lawn care. And we have an indoor sales team. When you launch with Joshua Tree, one thing that we provide is a call center for you. So we will qualify leads, we'll send you leads. We're going to sell lawn care and pest control. It's a one-step sales process. So when you call in, our CRM that we utilize, we pull your property up in an aerial image. We will measure the square footage. We have pricing parameters within the software, and it's a certain number, you know, for that visit. It's a certain cost for that visit, but then it talliates by 1,000 square foot. So then we price by 1,000 square foot. Everything's a one-step sales process then. So as you scale, again, we're wanting you to focus on sales. We want you to focus on operations, you know, outdoor facing sales, on-site sales, but then all those other things, you know, as we're, you know, you're adding those services on, we're going to be doing a lot of back-end work to increase and really launch it well.
Yeah. Josh, talk to me about that. I'll call it that stack whether it's a tech stack, call center. So what are some of the tools in terms of, hey, Charles, we want you focused on customer sales, employee retention, managing the business. We're going to have our tree care programs ready for you to implement and full training on that. Call center in terms of, you're saying assisting with proposals and responding to inquiries?
Yep. So the general tree care, that's an on-site visit, right? We really focus heavily on that type of training during your on-site training after you execute a franchise agreement. So we really put a lot of effort into going out and shadowing an account manager. The call center is specifically designed. They're all Joshua Tree employees. It's not some call center that is, not out of our home office. They're Joshua Tree employees. They speak green industry. And I say that as they can relate with your customers very easily because they've been doing it for the corporate, right? We're taking calls for Pittsburgh. We're taking calls for New York. But we speak the language. We know the software, how well the software is. So, we qualify the leads. We send appointments to our franchisees. We collect payments. We provide client support. And the big part is those additional services of lawn care and pest control. It's a one-step sales process. When you call in, lawn care is a very quick sales. You either sell it on the spot or you have about 48 hours to sell it. If you don't sell it within 48 hours, they've already hired someone else. So when they call in, we want to be able to say, hey, we don't need to identify weeds. That's the technician's job, right? The technician goes out there. We train them to go out there and make the lawn look beautiful, weed-free, green and lush. We just want to know, hey, we want to get the sale right away. So we developed a one-step sales process that when you call in, that's exactly what you do. And we do that in-house. When we provide you, we're going to provide our franchisees. We provide them with 5 phone numbers. And we utilize those 5 phone numbers on different types of marketing. Maybe it's a Google Ads campaign. Maybe it's a direct postcard. Maybe it's the door hangers that we're going to cloverleaf with. Maybe it's a yard sign that we're going to have. But then we are able to track those. We forward all of those calls to our call center. So every call that's coming in, they're coming to us. You don't have to have an admin person there taking the calls.
Look, and I think the opportunity is pretty significant in the sense that you could scale into it. You also have the mosquito control. I'm amazed all the time how the person actually does my lawn. I didn't even know he has purchased a mosquito control franchise just separately. And he never sold me on it. And so we hired someone else. I didn't know, right? And he said, oh, he does it. I'm like, well, no one told me. I think there's tremendous opportunity. And I love that Joshua Trees, you have these stacked modular opportunities. And I love the KPIs and the focus on really creating a brand that has strong value proposition and strong drivers for your franchisees. Josh, we've been at conferences together. For everyone that's going to listen, business owners like you, they're building their business, they're growing it, thinking about franchising, or they just franchised. What are some real world experiences or lessons you want to share with them of, hey, think about this, this, and that, or beware?
Yeah, it's tough. It is. I would definitely, a lot of research. Got to do your due diligence. A lot of companies look at something like franchising and it becomes a shiny object to them. And franchising it's an expensive game to get into. And your tactic and plan on how you're going to launch, how you're going to support franchisees, how you're going to make relationships with consultants if you're going to do that. Hey, how are you going to sell it? How are you going to market it to have people even know that you are selling franchises, right? How do you do that? You do it socially, you do it with a brand development site. Do you hire a PR firm? Are you going into these broker groups? Because there's a lot of different ways that you can drive traction and get people interested in it. So, budgeting that out, understanding that is really important. Vendor selection, I think, is really something that you got to put some time into. I've been very fortunate that I've made some really good relationships with people like yourself that support the brand. They believe in the founder. They believe in the team that's behind it. There's a lot that when you and listen, you're going to get a lot of people that are contacting you that are not going to fit your brand, and be prepared to say no to them. Be prepared to really nurture the relationships and the candidates that are coming through that you're talking to that are going to be the rock star. That's what we want. We want rock stars, and really avoid the people that, again, are not a fit for your culture, fit for your value. It's a marriage that you're making with franchisees. So I think it's really important that going through, I've made a lot of mistakes already. I haven't been doing this long, but I've made a lot of mistakes, and some have been costly, and I've learned from them, and I've networked with some really good people. And I think I love building relationships. I do. I think it's the biggest part of it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love building relationships and making friends. You and I, here we are, we're friends. We hang outside the podcast. We hang outside, at conferences.
Yeah.
That's what I want to have with my vendors. And that's what I want to have with my franchisees. I don't want them, I want to look at them as franchise partners. I want us to, we're in the same thing. We have the same vision. We want to grow, and we want to support one another.
Yeah, and you've been on a mission. For anyone who doesn't know, and we'll put up a photo. Not only is Josh has his own branded Joshua Tree van, he's out there meeting people, and like every great leader, Josh is 110% committed to the brand and what you're doing for your team and franchisees. Josh, completely unrelated. I don't know why I'm asking, but I love when we have conversations. Like, what motivates you when you get up? Like, what's the meaning and purpose of life? Like, small question here. What do you got for me?
I love my family. I have 2 nephews. My daughter works in the business. My girlfriend, my sister is going to be coming on board with us, and we're very family knit type business. I love friends. I really do. Again, I'm going back to the relationship building. I really like helping people. I do. It's funny. People always say, "Hey, man, what's going to be the exit strategy?" I don't know, but I can tell you if I do ever exit, and I would volunteer all day long. I would help people and I'm not looking for anything in return. I always look at it like that. People need appreciation, attention, and acceptance. I give everybody that. And I really do. I love helping people. I love developing people. When you go back to the question you said, hey, do you need experience to get in this industry? I don't think I quite answered that, because when I talk about taking people on around their values, they don't have any experience. And it's the developing part that I really like, taking someone and showing them a career path and a ladder on getting from, one level of the business to the next. My general manager, he runs Joshua Tree Experts, my corporate. He's there and allowing me to chase my passion and dream of franchising. He's with me for just over 5 years. He's running this 70-person green industry company that's doing tree care, lawn care, pest control. He didn't have 1 day of green industry experience when he came with me. He started out as an operations manager. I picked him because he had really good values. He had really good tech skills, and I knew we could utilize that with this CRM that we were launching. And here he is 5 years later, that he helped develop all of our processes and systems with his team. And now he's running the 70-person company. And that says a lot to say he had 0 experience. He didn't do anything in this. He was audio and sound. That's what he did. But man, he was the right person with the right passion. And I look back at that and think, hey, I helped develop that person where he is today. And his professional level is just off the charts, and just watching him, grow personally, awesome. And a lot of other, stories like that throughout our whole team. So I really like doing that.
I think you framed that perfectly. And from an integrity check standpoint, when even we were having breakfast together, you're very focused on the KPIs, the numbers, the customer reviews. You've built or drilled down to a very technical science level. What But I agree. It's all about culture, right? You hire for attitude and culture, and you provide that support. So if we're projecting forward, so 5 years from now, we're going to have this conversation again. If you're projecting forward, what are going to be some of the conversations you enjoy the most with the franchisees? Like, what comments are you expecting to hear 5 years from now?
Just the success that they're having, the decision of moving forward with the brand. Everybody's looking at different brands when they get into franchising, and how happy they are that they chose Joshua Tree. And I have a lot of vision in the business. I want to bring marketing in-house. I want to really develop our recruiting team. I want to build a really good Joshua Tree University where our training and education is just off the charts. And we're already starting to do that behind the scenes. I'm developing relationships with people that are going to assist us on doing that, because we really do want it to be rock solid. And we want to take people from year one, where they would be out on starting their own business, to where they could be, year one with Joshua Tree. It'll be so much further. And I want to be able to give them support. I really do. And I want to be able to cheers them with a cocktail glass and both smile and have a lot of respect for each other, and not have someone, say, hey, this was a bad or worse decision. I want them to say, hey, this was the best decision, and I'm going to do everything I can to have them say that in 5 years.
Yeah. And I know you take that serious. And when I look at, and again, everyone listening, I'm biased, but I'm not. There's real opportunity here. And I love the approach. I mean, it's a stackable progression. As you launch, you build, you scale, set a foundation, add the next layer of service, keep adding that equipment and growing. Josh, I appreciate it. We're going to be together next week, so that'll be cool. And I appreciate the time.
Well, I appreciate the time. I appreciate the relationship. And, being on here as friends is one of the best things that I could say. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, life's strange in the best way possible. It's fun stuff. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Charles.